Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to a brand new camp build. And we are in the top half of the Mire today, working on a player home with a waterfall running through it, which is a significantly more challenging prospect than I expected it to be, but it's come out really quite well, so I do hope you will enjoy. This proved to be quite the challenging build, really, so I wouldn't recommend directly trying to recreate it. I would say rather build in the same place and do something that organically grows out of your own build, because it's quite difficult to replicate in this place. You need to be very exact. So that's probably an easier approach. However, let's have a look at where we are. See the camp just there, right next to the crash plane. It's a stone's throw across from the back of the camp there. So if we head down here, we've got Berkeley Springs Stations just there. Harper's Ferry, and all the way over there to the top of the world, and there's Moss Town. So, now we've got an idea where we are. See, we've got a really nice view up the little stream here towards the waterfall, and this is where we're going to build. As I say, getting things positioned exactly to replicate this would be very, very challenging, and particularly getting this first piece in was a long series of trial and error, and actually the build looked nothing like my initial plan for it. It was impossible to do what I wanted to do in the first place. But first things first, we're starting on this sort of raised bit on the left, and we're going to try and line up with the sort of matching plateau on the other side here. Slightly different heights, but there we go. Nice line there. Things should follow the line of the cliff reasonably well now. Plus foundations in, and pull out the spares. Not that one wasn't a spare. But eventually I managed to get this back in, but awkward is kind of the word of the day here. Come on. No. So, pull that last one out, and we'll want to keep a reasonably open gap in the middle there, because otherwise we're just blocking off the waterfall, which is the main feature of the build, so definitely want to keep that visible. I'm going to drop down a level and use the staircase there just to give us the right height for snapping on the lower level of the foundations. Especially as we can't just place them in at the bottom here, which is kind of annoying. Also surprising because it still lets you take the staircase off, which I wouldn't expect, but hey, if it's going to let me do it, I'm going to do it. So, my initial thought was to use this stairway with a frame on it, but it actually works out as being a bit of a problem and doesn't line up. You can't actually get past on the left side of the stairs there for some reason. I think because we're too close to the foundations, it won't let you get through the gap, so I had to swap it out in a bit. But you can see what I did with the floor a little more easily here. So see, regular wooden floors snapped on there. We'll change them out for a different texture in a bit, but this will do for now. Fortunately, 76 doesn't much like its clipping, so you're going to have to sort of work around the edges here rather than trying to clip the floor into the edge of the cliff, which is a bit unfortunate. It would look very cool if you did that, but work with what we've got, and the results are pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with them. So, although I could snap a floor in there, I decided I actually preferred the waterfall going down the back of the house there. So out comes that floor again. That's basically where the floor is going to be. So some faffing later, I've taken it all back out and put a different staircase in, and then reassembled this floor. And now we need to work out where the stairs are going to go for the next floor. The big thing here is to make sure that the centre of the upper floor is lined up with the waterfall. It's getting a bit dark here, so I'll have to illuminate things a bit for you. But that proved to be more difficult than I initially thought. Came up with a reasonably workable solution, so we'll have a look at that in just a sec. See, we're a little off centre on this lower floor, but I can kind of work with that. We're going to snap a couple of staircases in facing each other like this, just so we can see where the middle is a little bit more easily. Where the staircases will have to snap to make that work. So they both need to come back one here. So we'll put another half floor here, half floor there. Now we'll just shove it back by half floor there, and the same on the other side. We're actually going to be making some subsequent changes to this in a bit, but it does help us find our lines. So there we go. See now, floor goes in the middle, and it's nice and lined up with the waterfall. So swap out some of these floors for single large pieces. Whip that staircase off rather, because we don't need it. That way that when we come to change the textures out, it'll actually look a little neater, a little bit better. Yep. And I don't really need that staircase going back in, but there it is anyway. Basis for our upper story. Head up, and we'll get the rest of the floor put into place. Yep. This one's a little bit more cooperative. And I decided on this floor I would have the waterfall going actually through the floor. We'll change it out for a wire one in a bit, so it'll make sense when we get there. But for now, as I say, the wooden one will do. And next up, we're going to put the stairs in here so that we can get access to the top portion of the cliff. So obviously can't snap a floor piece on here because it will clip through the cliff face, and unfortunately the game doesn't like that. But the foundation works just fine. It does stick out a bit in a bit of a weird way, which is unfortunate, but the final build, it won't be too obvious, it won't look too bad. So, back down to the bottom, we're going to get some walls on. There'll be a couple of changes to this, and I'm going to speed things up a little bit. It's quite a long video, and you all know how to put walls in, I'm sure. So, we'll zip up top, walls in. And this corner, we had a little bit of an issue. We're right up against the edge of the build zone here, and I'm starting to think, as a result of this build, that the build zone is more of a sphere than a cylinder. 100% sure either way, but it certainly looks like there should be room to work here, but apparently the game doesn't think so. So we're going to have to go around the corner a little bit there. Fortunately, I can't turn this wall around, it's being awkward, so we'll head outside, take this foundation off again, so we didn't need it after all. Hop over the top, and then there's the wall. So, leave this bit around the inside, just want this to be open, and head over the other side and see what we can do over here. A couple more walls in. These are actually going to be coming back off in a moment, but it shows my thought pattern a little bit. So here, because of the position of the top floor, walls want to snap a little bit too far in. So push that back a little bit so that the waterfall's a little more central, not right against the edge of the room. So take those stairs off. Finally figured out I don't want them. Stick another floor in there. That's going to have to get changed for a half one anyway, but do for now. There we go. Walls are in the right place now. So this entranceway looks absolutely awful. So I wanted to move the door, preferably to the bottom of the stairs, but you know, that's not allowed apparently, so it's going at the top of the stairs. Take the walls off on the outside and have a little sort of lower balcony there that should look much better than trying to wall it off. And we'll start getting some roofs on this place. But I tried a few different bits and pieces. Ultimately, these sort of arched roofs were the best way of doing it. The other options would look pretty cool. Using these slanted ones are a preference of mine, but of course I'm not going to cooperate on that. So, again, we're having issues getting over the stairs here, mostly because of the rock face behind it, I think. Stick some half walls in, seeing as those are fine. And we're going to have to use an angled roof, otherwise we won't be able to get down the stairs. Flip that round so it faces the wall. Yep, looks a bit more closed off there. Stick some corner pieces in just to close it up, make it look neat and tidy. So we deliberated for quite a while over whether or not I actually wanted to leave this here, take it off altogether, have it open, have it closed, yada yada yada. Ultimately settled on this look. Tried a wall downstairs instead of having it open, and nothing looked right apart from that, so that's what we're going with. See why when we get to the tour, no doubt. And onto another bit that didn't quite go according to plan. This upper balcony, on first floor balcony perhaps. I was going to put a roof over the top of it, as you can see here. Unfortunately, it wouldn't close up properly. Over the second foundation, it just doesn't work at all. So these walls will be staying, apart from that half wall, which is clipping through the staircase. But I'll figure that out in a minute. You can see, getting walls in down here is quite the issue. I managed to get a half wall in here at the bottom, but everything else wouldn't work, and it looks awful. So we'll end up pulling all this back out in just a moment. So the full height walls aren't going to work either. Nope. Nothing doing. So tried to get a roof on over this bit, hoping I can make do with that. Obviously we'll still have an opening at the end as well, even if it did work, which is entirely academic because it doesn't. So, back to the drawing board. How come the walls? It's going to be a balcony instead. And did initially try and swap this out for a foundation, but unfortunately it won't work, so back to a floor piece it is. A single is definitely better than the full-sized one, rather, is better than the half-sized one. I was going to say single's better than double, but it's the other way around, so that doesn't make any sense. So, some railings on the inside close off this floor width. As per usual, doesn't want to cooperate with the big ones, so we'll use the little ones. They're much more versatile generally. I like to have taller fences, but this works. Fortunately, because I have a full-size floor piece here, I can't put a half-size railing on the edge of it, because that would be far too easy. So, swap them out for two small ones, and in goes the railing just fine. Back up top, close these off. This one is much more agreeable. Eventually. Come on. There we go. And of course, normal railing in the back. Nice. So, we need a railing across the front of this roof now. Don't, but it would look much more complete with one. So, I can snap the initial one on just fine, and if I take the roof off, I can snap this end one on. But it still leaves a gap beside the staircase, which I was not happy with, and I can't get the roof back on. So I've just figured out this wall is clipping through the staircase, so we'll change that over for an angled one. Better. So try and get the roof back on. You can see it's not even going to attempt it. Won't going to snap at all. So didn't really need to take the walls off on the end there, but I did anyway. So staircase off. Now we'll just shift that floor piece across one. Snap the railing onto that. Shift it back again. And we'll snap the railing on this side as well. Nice and easy. Because we've got the staircase on the other side, that's why I was actually able to take this staircase off at all. Had I not had that second staircase in, of course, this upper one wouldn't move. There we go. Staircase back in. And we'll put that corner back together and then move on. So, down at the bottom again, and we've got that excess piece of floor that we don't need. Click the menu there, and then it'll make its mind up on removing the shadow of it. So I wanted to put some supports underneath some of the posts on the stair tab. Unfortunately, it's a bit uncooperative. Of course, we were right in the corner of the build there. I can't put the floor pieces in, so it's not going on the corner. Whilst I can snap the top to it, it won't snap underneath. Largely, I think, because it's floating there, but in other places it seems to think it's trying to be placed in water, which apparently is not allowed either, so yeah, awkward, as I said before. However, I did manage to get a few supports in a few places, just sort of moving around and seeing what would work where. So we can kind of work with that. We put an extra foundation on here, makes the whole thing look a little bit more solid, and it will allow us to have a little access to the water down at the bottom here as well. So can't do much else beyond this. Can't put a second foundation in, not that I particularly want to. I don't want to close off the river entirely. Build staircase there so we can get access. And what do you know, the fences won't work again. So we'll have to switch them over and use the small ones. Oh wait, those don't work either. Yeah, for some reason it still thinks I'm trying to place those in water. God knows why, but there we go. Anyway, on to the top part. So, nearly there now, it's just the last section of the build. And I want to put a structure on the top level that's going to house our player vending and our crafting space. It'll actually be the main area you see when you arrive if you fast travel here. To do that, we need to work our way up the cliffs. So I'm going to use the concrete ramps to give us the right height for the foundation. So, each one snaps on at half height, so we need to use 2 to get the right height. Get the full height. Try not to delete the wrong thing. Yeah. That is now 1 full foundation height above the level below. Stairs in. Nice and easy, but we're going to fall off the edge now, so that won't do. Fortunately, we'll be changing that in a moment. So, pull those out of the way. Actually going to change again in a moment, but we'll get there. And we'll continue what we did before, using 2 ramps to get the appropriate height above the level below. Make our way to the top of the cliff. There we go. So it's still a bit awkward. You need to snap a couple of foundations in on the lower level and bring one on the top level just to close the gap. There we go. Now they match up. So it's still a bit awkward. So we'll put a staircase here. and we still have the transition around this corner to sort out. So we can take the staircase off, put an extra foundation there instead. It will give us the space to make the turn. And then we can line the staircase up with the existing one that's coming out of the building. Go, foundation, come out. I'll have to probably go back in a bit, I can't remember. We'll see. Well, now we have a staircase that actually works. Getting a bit dark now, but we'll plod on, we're nearly there. So we're going to take the foundation straight across the water here, so we've got an area on the other side that is the same height. There we go. And the next job is to figure out exactly where we want these foundations to sit. So, I thought I wanted them one section further over, one space further over, but actually they were in the right place in the first place. But if you do want to move them, snap onto the side and then just work from there. Go. See, there's a couple of random foundations partway down the cliff there that were from my first failed attempt. Working from the top is much more practical. Hop back over, and a couple of adjustments need to be made. Ignore this foundation, it's actually going to stay there, but eventually. But it's not serving any particular function, apart from it gives us something to stand on. Get this out of the way, we'll be deleting that staircase in a moment. And we're going to take this corner foundation off, put a metal staircase here, because I want a wooden upper floor to run around the inside of this building. I'm actually going to change it out for a wire one so you can see through it and see down to the water. But we need a regular staircase attached just so that we can snap these on as they won't snap to foundations. So, we'll run along the top of the cliff here, figure out exactly where we want this line to go. About right, it's over the edge of the grass there. We'll come back up down the middle. Done faffing there, we'll head along this edge. Pretty much where we want it. The idea is to have a wire mesh floor here on the inside and then the foundations around the outside. So snap another foundation on there and use that as a guide to move the other ones across. Everything meets up neat and tidy. So shoot over the other side, tidy up the bits that we don't need. Foundations can come off, as can the extra staircase. Oh, and that'll be the edge of the building. So, next job, get some walls on. So we'll speed this along a little bit again. A little bit awkward, trying to figure out exactly how I want this to go, but there we go. As if by magic, we have the walls in place. The idea here is to have full walls around the stone foundations, but just open and railings along the edge of the wooden floors. Basically, it's sort of like a viewing platform. There we go, railings in place, and we'll get the roofs on. I did want to cover this top half off, make it look a little bit more finished, a little bit more neat, tidy, like a permanent structure. The one is closed off. Cooperate, there we go. Nice and easy. And a couple of supports for the corner, as we haven't got any walls holding them up, so we need a couple of metal posts here. 4 to be exact, since there's 4 floating corners. So as usual, snap the half stairs onto the top of a staircase, feed it around, and we'll snap the post to the half floor rather than the floor underneath. That way we can actually snap directly to the corner and it's not in the way in the middle of the build. In the middle of the walkway rather. There we go. So repeat that on every corner that you need to. Stick your railings back in. Now we head underneath. And once again it gets awkward. So I'm able to snap these posts directly underneath the existing ones, but unfortunately they won't snap through the ground. Using a half post, that one will, this one won't. So again, it's a case of finding places where you can make it fit or almost fit so that at a glance it looks like it's properly supported. This is the case with one of the ones around the back. Does the job. And there we go, one finished structure. We'll swap these couple of walls out for ones without windows, and we're ready to take a look at the decorated tour. So for those of you who stuck that one out, thank you very much. Here's the payoff. and I'm really, really happy with the end result of this. As I say, I spent quite a long time arguing with my initial concept and not having it work. I was going to build down from the top, and that just didn't work on any level at all. No pun intended. But starting over as a final crack at it from the bottom ended up coming out better than I could have hoped for, to be honest. I'm really, really pleased with the results here. I would have liked to put a few plants into the water here just to make it look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more like a garden, but unfortunately the game wouldn't let me, so we're going to have to make do with what we have there in the first place. At least there's something. There's a couple of lanterns under there as well, just to give it a little bit of light in the evening. We'll take a look around it in the evening in just a moment. Head up inside. This living space came out better than I could have hoped for as well. I'm really, really pleased with it. Good use of the wallpapers. There we go. Nice little kitchen area at the front here. Picked up the functional sink there at the back from the Atomic Shop build. So if you want to grab that, it's back this week, so grab it while you can. I'm definitely happy to have picked it up this time. Nice little rustic table in the middle. Squeeze the grog-knack rug in there, it's the nicest one we've got. Yeah, nice view out through the windows as well. Really happy with how this came out. It's a really nice, homely, rustic, forest stroke Mire kind of a build. I'm really pleased with it. As you can see, we've swapped out some of the floors for wire ones, so we can see through down to the water below. Really makes that waterfall the set piece of the build that I'm really, really happy with. A few plants in the corner make it a little bit more colourful, a little bit more interesting. Got a bit of a seating area there. Unfortunately, I forgot to include a bedroom, so our character here is sleeping on the chaise longue. You want to get a sleeping bag onto that. Basically, you need to figure out where you want the head end of the sleeping bag and then squeeze a rug into the chaise longue as close as you can to that end, because it's the head end of the sleeping bag that needs the support. Will allow you just to place it on the top, which is what I've done there. So, little seating area out on the balcony. Hopefully it won't rain, because otherwise the sofa's going to end up very, very nasty. Nice view out there, particularly first thing in the morning when the sun's coming up over that way. Head back inside. Say, by the way, I used the wooden walls. I was thinking about using the stone ones, the brick ones rather, which is probably an option, but I felt the wood just fit more with the environment a little bit more of the Mire with all the trees around. So, up the stairs, onto the upper level, or almost upper level. View out there is not great, but you do have the atmosphere created by the tree that's quite nice. You can see, with the wire floors in, the water is now spilling directly through the building, which I'm really pleased with how that looks. Come up very, very nicely. A few more plants tucked in there for decoration as well. And a few oil lamps, a few lanterns around, just to give it that nice warm light. We have actually got a fusion core generator here, as you'll see why in a moment. But a little bit of the new green monster wallpaper, which adds a splash of colour that I really like, on up our epic staircase. So close off this top area, so you don't go running off the end of the build. Nice view out across the Mire there. Oh, nice view of the trees anyway. Gotta love the lighting in the Mire in particular. It's definitely some of the best in the game. Very strange that it's blue at night, but it's distinct, so that's cool. The place is looking reasonably well supported. Unfortunately, the posts don't quite line up there, but it is what it is. We'll head up to our little player vending and crafting area. But for the purposes of the tour, I turned off the electricity to the vending machine so I didn't get any visitors, but quite a couple of the lights are off as well. However, there we go. Swapped out the wooden floors for wire ones again, so we see through to the water. So we've got the vending machines in the middle. Couple of workbenches, little stash box tucked in the corner. Couple of plants for more decoration. As this character is in need of making a considerable number of caps, one of the ways to do that reasonably quickly is to chuck a load of water purifiers in and just sell purified water. Practically free money at that point. So that's what I've done here. Swing around the front, have a look at this. This little view down to the house there and down to the stream as well. A couple of lanterns, a couple of illuminated posters just to give a little bit of light up here in the evening. Not too much, which is nice. There's our fusion core generator. Because that's quite exposed, we've got a couple of turrets at the back as well, a couple of missile turrets. The crushed plane over there frequently spawns all manner of creatures, so best to be careful. So, speeding along a little bit, we'll jump down to the bottom and take a look at this place in the evening, because the lighting is pretty awesome. As I say, really like the lighting in the Mire. It's really, really distinct, really, really characterful. So, coupled with a nice warm light from the lanterns and the oil lamps, we get a really, really cool look to the build. A few lanterns underneath the floor here and just on the rock face where I can squeeze them in. Like I said before, it's a bit awkward about letting you place things in there, but there's a little splash of light and colour under there, which is nice. Head on inside. That old possum sign is a little on the bright side, but I can live with it, especially when you turn around and see this. I really love how this looks in the evening. The warm light coupled with the waterfall and the colour of the plants looks really, really nice. Be happy with how this came out. Considering that I was basically pulling my hair out when I started this build off, it's come out better than I could have hoped for. I'm really happy with that. Drove me slightly crazy at first. Head on upstairs, take a look at that. Go. Little lantern in the corner, just giving a little bit of light to the leaves on the tree there. That little bit of colour, a little bit of character to the place, even in the evening. The light from below spilling up as well as a couple of oil lanterns and a lantern there just to illuminate the waterfall a little bit more. A couple of lanterns on the stairs. Need to see where you're going, don't want anybody falling to their demise. Past the Vault Boy, we'll head up to a little crafting and vending area. There's still a few little bits and pieces that are a little bit floaty in this build, which is unfortunate, but given that we're trying to build in a particularly awkward place, overall I'm quite pleased with how it's come out. One of the lights on here. We could put a couple more in there possibly, but it's not too obnoxious, doesn't draw the eye from too far away as well, which is cool. Very, very blue evening in the Mire. Massive number of plans on sale in my camp, so if you happen to catch me online, particularly if I'm over this side, then feel free to come on over and grab yourself a bargain on that front. I'm selling them quite cheap. This character has certainly picked up plenty of them. There we go. Make our way back down through the house and have a little look. So, I do hope you folks enjoyed that. If you did, please do hit those buttons for me. It's very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description as always if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook. Please do consider becoming a channel member as well by the little blue join button. Support is humongously appreciated. So thank you very much to everybody who's done that already as well. Should be back streaming again tonight. Resident Evil 3 launches, so keep an eye out for that one. A little bell notification button will let you know when I go live, so I do hope you join us for that one. We had a lot of fun playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, so very much looking forward to playing Resident Evil 3 tonight. And Triple XP weekend this weekend as well, so we'll get a bit of Fallout in over the weekend as well. For now, so thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.